We're going to take a walk today, but in order to do that, I'm going to have to put on some ice. Oh God, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm running. Hi everybody, I'm Cliff, and this is Life with MS. This is part 2 of the why didn't they tell me this when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. If you didn't catch part 1, you're going to want to look in the description below for a link. We're going to be on a walk today while we talk about part 2. And with us is going to be our trusty dog, Amelia. Amelia, say hi. There you go. Come on, let's go, girl. I have 3 more things they didn't tell me when I was diagnosed with MS, and they're things you should know if you've been recently diagnosed with MS, and if you have had MS for a while, please leave a comment below with things I might have forgotten or left out. Now, I've been diagnosed since 2018, but I've lived with this probably my whole life, and it took me 10 years to get an official diagnosis, and a lot of totally unnecessary doctor's appointments. And if you haven't noticed, I'm wearing my fashionable cooling vest today, because it's 85 degrees outside, almost 90 in the sun, and we've chosen to walk on our very favorite and shady pathway here because it's just way cooler for both the dog and myself. Where is she? She's over there somewhere. So let's hop right into it with what I think is tip number 5, and that is when you get diagnosed, the scammers are going to come out of the woodwork and they are going to try to find you and convince you you need their product. There is so much multi-level marketing or MLM crap out there focused on people with chronic conditions because they know we're in a vulnerable state. They know we're not thinking clearly and we're in a panic state and we're thinking about doing things that are almost highly illogical. It can be things like bullcrap supplements to drinks to certain types of exercises, but all things you need to subscribe to and are going to cost you money or you have to pay out of pocket for. I've even seen things that are like filter water that are focused on people with chronic conditions, which is absolutely ridiculous. If there's no science to it and it's going to cost you money, it's probably bullcrap. Now, does that mean all supplements are bullcrap? Absolutely not. Listen to your neurologist. He can tell you what works and what doesn't work and what is scientifically proven to help the condition like multiple sclerosis and other chronic conditions. But I have to warn you, it's very, very tempting to think that you know something other people don't know about helping your condition. And there are flies everywhere back here today because it's humid. And people are going to prey on that. I'm telling you, they're going to come out of the woodwork and look for you. It's crazy. I am a very analytical, engineer-y guy, and I first thought when I got diagnosed, man, some of these things don't look that bad. And then after like a year or two, you start looking at it and you go, man, that's absolutely ridiculous. There are a couple of products out there specifically where I have reached out to the companies and said, where's the scientific proof? Where are the independent studies? These products are thousands of dollars and these companies have never replied back to me because the second you start asking questions to prove their claims, bam, they're ghost. Just a funny quick story. I was diagnosed in 2018 and in 2019 I got invited over to a friend's house. And I thought, well, this is kind of weird. They don't usually invite us over. I wonder what changed. Well, we started having dinner, and about halfway through dinner, this person busted out a bottle of something. It was like literally a little pill bottle. Looked like supplements, but it wasn't. It was something even sketchier. Pills of stem cells that help people with multiple sclerosis, and she wanted to sell me these things. Absolutely ridiculous. There's no science that says this is going to help, and that was back in 2018 when stem cells were even dicier. But to think you could get a bottle of stem cells that is shelf stable and actually going to do anything orally is freaking stupid at best. And as much as I wanted to believe that maybe something like that would help, and she had all these claims that it would, it was bull crap. It's amazing what people will do to make a buck off people when they find out they're vulnerable. It's just quite sad, actually. All right, and the next one, as I'm eaten alive by mosquitoes back here, is celebrate the small wins. When I was first diagnosed, this was coming off just a few years after I used to ride 100-mile bike rides on the weekends, and it was never easy, but it was never that difficult. Now it would be literally impossible because my MS has progressed so much. But I went through this period of just like serious depression where I was like, I can't ride 100 miles anymore, or I can't go out and get in 25,000 steps today anymore. Why? What's wrong with me? What's happening to me? Well, there's a couple of things there. Number one, I hadn't accepted my disease. And number two, I didn't take into account that basically I was getting older. So there's 2 things going against me. Say hi. And if you watch my vlog, you know I talked about my first 2 years after diagnosis being a complete crap show. It was horrible. I was not accepting my reality. I was not adjusting. And I think that's pretty normal for a lot of people. So think about this one if you're newly diagnosed. Start looking at the small wins. What can you do today that was different than yesterday that you can look back and go, hey, I actually achieved that? For me, it's taking a walk when it's 85 degrees out. Yes, I have to wear a stupid vest that's got ice packs in it. And yes, it has to be in the shade. And yes, I have to stop and catch my breath even though I'm just walking. This is coming from a guy that used to ride 100 miles on his bike, you know. But at the end of the day, this is gonna be a win. I got some exercise, I got out to be with my dog. I'm gonna be a happier person. My family is gonna be definitely happy that I'm a happier person, because looking back, I was really not a nice person when I was being very hard on myself about what I could no longer do. And in fact, I should have just been looking at what I can do, because it's gonna change every single day with this disease. And that takes time. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow and, oh, she's taking a dump. Nope, just peeing, just peeing. Back to celebrating the small wins. Every single day with this disease seems to change, at least for me. When I notice the community around me that's really, I hate to say thriving because it sounds a little toxic, but doing well with this disease, is they've accepted their reality and they know the pitfalls of the disease for the most part. You can't plan all of them, but they plan around that and they shape their days around. And I kind of talked about this in the first episode, but this is an extension of that, and that is just embrace the small wins. You know, are you gonna get a decent night's sleep because you planned well for the day? Are you gonna be able to spend time with your family or your friends and enjoy your time and get a smile and get to forget about your disease, even if it's for 10 minutes? You know, small wins are a big deal in this disease, and I've noticed that, like, and I look for the small wins at the end of the day and I go, oh yeah, I did achieve that, and I did do this, and I did do that. And it gives me a different level of appreciation. So small wins. And this is gonna be the last one for this one, because it's starting to get pretty hot out here and I still gotta walk all the way back home, and this thing's starting to get warm because it's melting. And I'm talking about toxic positivity. Now, if you're just diagnosed with this disease, you may have noticed if you're searching around online, especially in the social media circles, that there are lots of influencers with chronic conditions. And every condition is different. Every condition's severity is different. Mine's very different than yours, though we both have multiple sclerosis and we have to deal with them in different ways. But what I see is this toxic positive culture where basically people are like, oh, I did 800 push-ups today and I'm gonna do 800 push-ups tomorrow, and it's completely changed the game. Now, I did do a video a while back about me eating some anti-inflammatory foods and having a really good experience the next few days. However, that's my experience, and I totally am all right with the fact that maybe tomorrow I'm gonna feel like total crap. And I will always tell you guys about that. There's no secret about that. I talk about that all the time. It's like up and down with this disease. And I try to limit some of it so it's not a complete roller coaster for you, because I know you're dealing with your own issues. But the influencers that are toxic, that people compare themselves against and get depressed about, are the ones that don't show you the bad days. They show you all the good days. And that is really, really, really toxic to this condition, because if you only see people with your condition having good days, you feel like there's something really wrong with you. And I'm telling you, there is nothing really wrong with you. You're just not seeing the whole story. So do your research and follow the people that you feel like are telling the truth, that most closely align with your condition and your situation. And I think you'll find yourself in a much happier spot. Social media has been great for things like chronic conditions like multiple sclerosis and lupus and all that, because it builds a great community. We just have to filter out the BS. And is that person that's always positive about things having a great experience? Yeah, maybe their condition's much milder. Maybe we are seeing the full story. But the chances are, if they have MS and it's looking too positive all the time, you and I know the reality of that. It's probably not true, so please don't compare yourself against that. Find the people you align with, and it's just gonna make things a lot easier. So those are my 3 additional tips for this part 2. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share if you found this valuable. We are growing this community, and I am so proud of everybody that comments, likes, and subscribes and shares, because we're helping people. Like, we're sharing information. It's not stuff you get from a neurologist most of the time. It's not stuff you get from someone trying to sell you something. It's people with MS talking to people with MS, and that's why I started the channel. We're keeping it real as we can. I mean, I do like to do a little bit of storytelling in there, and I've got some banger episodes coming up for you that we had a lot of fun making. So make sure you hit that subscribe. So for now, because it's getting hot out here, I'm gonna sign off. Amelia, why don't you come over here for another thumbnail, because those are fun. Come here, girl. Come here. Kisses. Good job, girl. Border Collie shake. Yes, good job. Good job. Okay, update. I'm walking home through the neighborhood. There's Amelia. It's getting too hot. I'm just about to pee myself. The problem here is there's no bushes to run off into like there was in Texas when I lived there. You could just kind of disappear into the woods. But this is a neighborhood. Will it be a win or a loss today? When it gets hot like this, I have very little control over my bladder. Super annoying. But we're gonna do what we can. Wish me luck. Can't go too fast because that'll make it worse. Can't go too slow because it'll get too hot and it'll make it worse. It's like I can't win. I'm not gonna make it. I'm running. Come on, girl. Well, I barely made it home. And I feel like the cooling vest bought me about another 30 minutes, which is kind of what I needed. But I really feel like, boy, I look like crap. Holy mackerel. I really feel like if I can figure out a way to cool my head other than just using this cooling hat, that might help. That gives me some ideas. Stay tuned.